Now, Peter Bedford.
Thank you, Chair. There are currently 702,000 young people between 16 and 24 that are unemployed, which is up 60,000 from last year. A lot of employers blame that on the Employment Rights Bill that's coming through and also on the increase in national insurance. So now more than ever, it's important that skills and apprenticeships are focused on to ensure that young people have the best chance in life. I'm just wondering, what can the DWP achieve in the skills and apprenticeship space that the Department for Education couldn't achieve?
This is a really important area, and thank you for your question. We have a lot of graphs in the DWP, and I've looked at a lot of graphs in the 3 months or so since I was appointed, and some of the ones that have struck me the most are those concerning young people. And the curve of the graphs doesn't begin a year ago. A lot of the steep rise in what's happening with certain forms of inactivity goes back 5 or 6 years. And so we've got to take the long sweep to go to what the Chair said about evidence, to look at what's been happening for some time. In terms of your specific question about bringing skills and apprenticeships into the DWP, this is an important machinery of government change for us. It will give us... The DWP was already trying to do work in the labour market, trying to encourage people into work. I always say, I think what the DWP does should really be about two things in the main. It should be about security for those who are reliant on the various benefits that we pay, but it should also be about opportunity and not people being trapped on benefits if they can move on from them. So I think this is very, very important. I am very concerned about the long 5-6 year rise in NEETs, which we have seen. We've got almost 1 million young people not in education, employment or training. A growing number of them are reporting medical conditions as part of that picture. And so what I want to do with bringing the skills portfolio of post-18 skills into the department is to have as active a labour market policy as we can, tilting apprenticeships more towards young people as a matter of policy, but trying to get the young people who are out of work the opportunity.
Given that the Department for Education is still retaining parts of the skills brief, how are we going to ensure this joined-up approach by government departments? One of my frustrations on this committee, which I've made many times, is about different departments having responsibilities that often overlap, and there's no one held to account for delivery of those policies. And I know, as formerly at the Cabinet Office, you will probably have similar frustrations. How can we ensure that departments are still working together to deliver on policy?
Well, I talked about a 5-year timescale. This is a 100-year timescale of Whitehall silos. One advantage that we have as a joint minister, I'm delighted to say that Jackie Smith, the Skills Minister, stayed on in that post after the reshuffle. She has 1 foot in the DFE, as it were, and 1 foot in the DWP. That really helps. It is undoubtedly true, let me be candid with the committee, that the Whitehall structure can give rise to the kind of problems that you talk about. But it is for ministers to and their officials to do everything we can to overcome those. And I think there is if you look around the world where the skills policy lies, sometimes it lies in whatever the Department for Education is called in a particular country, and sometimes it lies in whatever the Ministry of Labour is called in a particular country. We've made a decision that the Ministry of Labour answer, as it were, is a better place to put it. We're at the early stages of this, but if it works, it should mean that on apprenticeship policy, on adult skills, and on the work that the DWP was doing on labour markets anyway, we can bring this together in a more coordinated way to get the help to the young people who are out of work to whom you referred.
Just touching on, we touched on the kind of the structures of government. I mean, I've had conversations with politicians and officials from the Department for Education about why the skills agenda often got bogged down. And there was certainly a perception that the civil service just didn't buy into it because the leadership in the civil service, they didn't want that for their children. They didn't buy into the apprenticeship route or the skills route. They wanted their children to go to Oxbridge and get PPE and then go into the civil service fast track. They didn't believe in it. So how are you confident that the mentality and the mindset in your department is such to deliver on this policy?
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with the way that you paint that picture. And I've never been a believer in pitting apprenticeships and FE against higher education. I am for the expansion of opportunity, whichever route people choose. If I look at my own constituency of Wolverhampton South East, we probably don't have enough people in Wolverhampton South East going on to higher education, and there's a debate about that too. But when it comes to apprenticeships and skills, I think these are highly valued. If any of us knocks a door in our constituency and asks our constituents, do you want to see more apprenticeships? They are likely to say yes. The policy issues are, if you've got a limited sum of money, where do you spend it to get the most bang for your buck and create the most opportunity? And the decision we are taking, which isn't always an easy one, is to tilt that more towards young people. Because if we can get young people into work, then the benefits of that stay with them for a lifetime. And conversely, if they are out of work and they get used to a life on benefits or stuck on a life on benefits, then the cost of that also stays with them for a long time too. So I don't think it's a mindset problem. I think we've brought this together, and it's our job to do the best job we can with it now, with the other things that the DWP was already doing.
Just finally, touching on apprenticeships, before another colleague wants to come in on this. A number of, actually 600 employers expressed concern about the Level 7 apprenticeship changes in terms of the funding support for those because of the impact it will have on economic growth. What are your thoughts on that when so many employers are expressing concern about the change?
It's exactly the kind of choice we have to make. And if we say you can spread the butter wherever you wish on very high level apprenticeship funding, we will have less money for young people. We will have less money for foundation apprenticeships. And this is, if you like, a microcosm of government in general. You have to make choices, and we've made a choice to tilt the money more towards young people. I think it's the right choice because of the reasons I said in response to your questions a moment or two ago. It will expand more opportunity, and the benefits of it will last for a lot longer in people's lives.
Can I come back, Mr. Bedford, on the points you made about the culture in the civil service a bit earlier? Just to say, I mean, in DWP, we have 80,000 colleagues, and they are driven by wanting to get people into work. And 93% of people who do an apprenticeship move into sustained employment afterwards. So apprenticeships are a really important part of the overall labour market strategy. As the Secretary of State says, they are a really important part of the offer that we can give here across the people that we support, all across job centres across the land.